Welcome everyone, it's Mike Newton here at Lytham Golf Academy, and I've got one very shiny iron in my hands here in the way of the new TaylorMade P-730. A real true blade iron here now from TaylorMade, and I've been waiting for this one, to be honest, to get released. Obviously the P series has slowly sort of been released over the last few months, with the 730 being the sort of last one to sort of land, and this is the real tour head. It's just stunning. I mean, you look at it, it is oozes classic shape. You know, it's just a very true bladed golf club here. So obviously P series stands for, or the P stands for players. We've seen a 730, 750, 770, 790. TaylorMade have got a lot of irons in the range here now. And the P is obviously the players' irons, and this is the real blade one, the less forgiving, the more workability of all those irons in that P category. Okay, so we're going to give you guys some feedback of looks here. We've got GC2 set up here. I've set myself out 176 yards away here. This is a 7 iron. The loft is 35 degrees. Yep, you've heard it right. TaylorMade with a loft of a 7 iron at 35 degrees. Yep, you don't hear that often. So obviously it's a very true lofted golf club here. You know, the M's distance, obviously the way they move the CG around the head, that's where the lofts get stronger, but this is a 35 degrees, so we're going to expect some sort of high ball flights here, some very true spin numbers, not massive distance, but ultimate control. So let's get cracking and see if we see those sort of performances out of this new iron from TaylorMade in the way of the P-730. Okay, so we're going to start hitting these in a minute, but just maybe talk a little bit about the technology in this 730 iron here. Now, as you can appreciate, it's a forged bladed iron here, so there's, in terms of a blade head, there's not a lot they can do. There's no real sort of bells and whistles hanging off this golf club that you generally sort of see in the, obviously, game improvement irons, specifically TaylorMade, slots galore, you know, CG placement, tungsten weights, all that. There's none of that in the 730 head. It's just a real true sort of forged golf club here. Now there is this sort of channel running through the back of the golf club. I think Justin Rose had quite an influence of that sort of mark here, which is basically like a milled section through the middle of the golf club here. So this is helping on strikes, maybe up and down the club face here. So you know, TaylorMade have really worked closely with Rose, McElroy, Justin Johnson, with regards to how this basically looks, the shape of it, and what those guys are really wanting out of this sort of tour iron, basically. So a lot of feedback from those guys, and those guys generally miss the strike will probably slightly more up and down the face as opposed to heel to toe, and maybe this is where this sort of channeled out section is just going to help, maybe just when you miss it, 1 or 2 grooves high or low from the sweet spot. So I mean, you put that down by the golf ball and it's I mean, it's just stunning. You know, it's very compact, it's very small, it's not confident inspiring, so this is really going to be aimed at the guys who are, you know, very consistent on that strike pattern. So we're going to give this first one a hit. Okay, it does look great behind the golf ball. Oh, that feels unbelievably good. Really soft, that feels fantastic. I struck that pretty well there. Yeah, just find that green quite easily there. That felt awesome, really good. Okay, it isn't the most confidence inspiring as you present that down by the golf ball because of the size of the head, but that feels beautiful. Ooh, right, okay. That was a bit low in the face. I felt that coming through my hands there. I mean, I managed to hit the green there, dropped off a little bit on carry, yeah, 163 there, so dropped a bit of carry, but God, did I know about that. That was a bit low in the face. My hands are stinging a little bit, and that's probably the only downfall of this very traditional sort of bladed club is when you miss it, the middle like that, you're going to know about it. Okay, so again, this is really aimed at these golfers, or you golfers out there who are very, very consistent on your golf strike, okay, because that on a cold winter's day is going to hurt. Okay, so the shape of this as I put this down by the golf ball here, it's just very, very simple, very squat head shape, blade length should I say, from heel to toe. hardly any offset, if any offset there at all. Top line is very, very sort of slim here, but very sort of compact. It's sort of a size of the head that when you put it down by the golf ball, it makes the ball look bigger because the head is obviously quite small. So, as I said earlier, it's not a confident, inspiring head behind the golf ball, but the shape of it is stunning. I mean, it just looks absolutely very classic, you know, very, very classic shape, you know, rounded toe section. Oh, yeah, I mean, that feels great. If you strike it good, it feels really, really good. I mean, it feels ultra soft. You know, and this is where TaylorMade are really sort of pushing this as more, obviously, it's aimed at the tour players, you know, so the market for this club is going to be really, really small for golfers, you know, club golfers out there really, but obviously this is more for your elite golfer who's going to strike golf ball pretty consistent on the club face, and he's looking for that feedback, that workability, and this is what it's all designed with: the sole, obviously the bladed head, the forged head, the size of the head, the turf interaction is something they've worked on here. And it's all about workability of this golf ball. And generally the player of that sort of standard is going to want to shape balls differently, you know, and this is the iron that's going to help them to achieve those ball flights. Yeah, feels fantastic. Fantastic. I think the feedback through the strike is immense. You know when you've missed the middle, and it can be just fractions. See, that to me felt a little bit toe side, and I think with a game improvement iron that would have felt middle. Okay, so you know where you're going to hit the golf, or where you have hit the golf ball, should I say. And again, that is what this iron is all about. It's ultimate feedback, ultimate control, and, you know, workability. So I'm really going to be interested to look at these numbers. Now I know shot 2 was a bit, well, very low in the club face there, so we may sort of see a different number in there possibly, but let's go and have a look at some numbers in a little bit more detail and see how the P-730 is performing. Okay, number time then. Let's have a look at some detailed numbers of P-730. So club head speed around that 95 mark, 7.9. That's typically, you know, my speed, 7.9. Looking at ball speed here now, 121.8 average. So this is nowhere near as fast as, obviously, game improvement irons here off the club face. But obviously looking at shot 2, there was my missed strike. So you see 116. So the first one's a good strike, third one's a really good strike. Second one you can see I caught low in the face. That last one wasn't that bad. I knew I missed middle and it was only slightly toe, but again, it's a bit of a drop off on ball speed, and this is exactly what you're going to find with a club that hasn't got this perimeter weighting. Okay, when you miss that centre of gravity in that club face, you'll be more punished in terms of ball speed, and there's some big drop-offs there on ball speed. Okay, so that's going to make a difference now of carry numbers. So looking at spin numbers, so there again, there's a thin one, so that spin isn't a proper number there because I caught that very low in the club face. So shot 1 and shot 3 were more true strike, so that's a sort of number. So you can see a very high spin number there, which is what you're going to expect, 35 degrees of loft here. There's no real sort of low CG placing in the head here, so this spin isn't going to go really sort of low. So maybe if you take that second shot out of there, you know, you're probably averaging around that sort of 7,000 sort of mark there. 35 peak height, so it's nice and high ball flight, descending at 48 degrees. It comes into land, carrying at 167. So again, shot 1, shot 3 were good strikes at that 170, 171 mark. Missed strikes dropping off quite a bit there, and again, you just can't afford to hit missed strikes with this type of golf club. Okay guys, so there we have it, the P-730 hit reviewed, looked at some numbers there. So very typically probably what I would expect from that golf club, but very interesting looking at those miss hits there, you know. And I got a lot of comments on my channel here that, you know, I'm a very, very consistent striker of the golf ball. I'm not really, you know, I do miss the middle, and, you know, at the end of the day I'm human, you know, I'm not a player, I don't play a lot, I coach more than anything, I hardly really play apart from just hitting shots here, or mainly for the videos. That's the only time I really hit golf balls. So, you know, I'm not sharp on my game, you know, because I don't play so much, so missed strikes will come into it, and this is where this club, look-wise, I would want that all day long sat in my golf bag. That looks fantastic. Sat behind the ball, it ticks all the boxes for me. But I know I'm not consistent enough on my strike, because when I'm not, you can see drop off numbers like that. You know, there's sort of 8-9 yards drop off on carry distance alone. So that's me coming up short on a par 3 where there's water in front or something like that. You know, that's going to be quite punishing for me. As much as I hate to say that, because that just, I want that in my bag. That looks brilliant and it feels amazing. Possibly what I would do, and this, I can see this being quite popular for a lot of golfers, comboing these. So maybe 730 in the short irons, and then maybe the 750s in the longer irons. So, you know, a little small cavity in there, just that little bit more helping maybe in those longer shafted clubs, less lofted golf clubs in the bag. Okay, but I tell you what, that is one cracking iron from TaylorMade. You know, again, you know, they get a lot of stick out there, but that is a beautiful golf club, very well made. It looks great, it feels fantastic. Say, it's not going to be a big market, but I think for the guys who love that traditional look, who want that playability, who can control the strike really consistent, that is a perfect option for them. Okay guys, again, appreciate you watching my videos. Hope you've enjoyed this one of this P-730 iron. Do comment down below, let me know your thoughts about this iron, what you think. Is that something you would test out, or is it just like a bit too small and not enough help there for you? Please do hit that subscribe button, appreciate that. Share the video around, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.